Chelsea Football Club, Enzo Maresca comes out and blames the fan base for the second goal that we conceded against Ipswich, and the fans have a meltdown. I'm here to see what he means. Furthermore, we need to talk about the hard-hitting questions. Normally, I'm here, smile on my face, ranting, raving, giving you guys a good time, great show, talking about the upcoming games, giving you optimism, passion, information. Today, I am struggling with energy to come here to explain to you, be excited for the remainder of the season. However, we are going to talk about the hard-hitting topics. We are going to talk about the comments Enzo Maresca has made. We are going to talk about the fans moaning and groaning consistently, and clips going on the internet, how they played a vital role in us conceding a goal. We are going to talk about fans moaning about rotation, where the team he selected, 9 out of 11 players, all of us would have selected. And finally, we are going to talk about the wretched table and the implications of top 5 race. Yes, we are here talking about the top 5 race. We were sitting second after 19 games, and now all of a sudden we are sitting in a position that is called 6th. 3 points are 3rd, but there's no hope in me, no optimism in me to say that we're going to make Champions League football. We need to talk about it. We need to be honest. We need to have an emergency meeting at Chelsea Football Club amongst the Kavkas View community. We've got a great community. So before we get started, hit that like button. 1,000 likes go a long way. 200 people away from 40,000 people in this community. So if you do that, I greatly appreciate it. It's a platform where we all can have a discussion, vent, rant, and just be polite to each other, because we all love this club one way or another. Before I get started, I want to explain to you why Chelsea's community here in the Kavkas View is massive, right? What we do here is we talk about the hard-hitting topics. We talk about it, but we be respectful. I have my opinion, you have your opinion. We don't always have to agree. What we don't do is cross the line and abuse each other. You can tell me I'm clueless. You can tell me I'm wrong. I don't view that as personal. I really don't. I genuinely don't. What I do is when you start swearing at me, and then it just goes, well, I'm just going to ignore that comment. So why I say this is because what I'm going to say today is most probably going to trigger a lot of people. What I'm going to say today is going to annoy a lot of people, and people won't like it. But like I said, it's a community where we all have different opinions and we can have a discussion. Let's go. Everything I say always comes from 2 places, right? Number 1, I need to see it. Number 2, there needs to be evidence or logic behind it. If there isn't, I struggle to say that point with belief. Let's talk about it. Enzo Maresca yesterday in his press conference after the game and said we lost confidence. We stopped playing our way and we conceded the second goal. And then he said our goalkeeper stopped playing short and we ended up going long. And what happened then is we conceded the second goal. People took that comment, basically said he's blaming the fans. Well, the reality is he's wrong in saying it. I admit, he should not say it. Why shouldn't he say it out loud? Because a reaction like this occurs. The minute you say something like this out loud, what happens is people view it as you're blaming the fans. It's an excuse. You're not accountable for your own decisions. You're to blame, but you want to blame the fans. And in reality, he's basically explaining the reasons why he doesn't like to play long, why he prefers to play short. And then I did my research, because I wanted to see, is this toxic atmosphere actually playing a vital role? We're 1-0 down. We're building up play from the goalkeeper. And I looked at this. It went Colwell, Sanchez to Toussaint, Toussaint to Chalobah. Chalobah panics. Rather than playing it back to Toussaint, what he does is go long. Cole Palmer loses a 50-50. The ball goes to Enciso. Enciso runs out our defense, takes a shot marginally wide. And for me, that epitomizes why Enzo Maresca wants to keep the ball on the floor, wants to attract the attention on, play out the back and attack teams. Whether it's the way you want to watch football, I don't know. You will have your opinion. I like it. Personally, I prefer it to hoofball, possession. I prefer possession football instead of combative 50-50 football. I feel like you lose too much control. You're always exposed. You can see too many chances and you will be punished going forward and embarrassed. That's my opinion. Whether you agree with it or not, that's your opinion. The next thing I want to talk about is the fans moaning and groaning, right? Because people are going to say to me, we pay our money, we're entitled to moan and groan. You pay your money to go watch the game and support the team. I think people forget this. The home fans are meant to be the 12th man. The home fans are meant to be the individual that makes a collective enhancement of the players to perform better. They actively do this. I was at the Barrow game. People are saying, they were bored, right? They were bored. It was a horrible performance. We were 1-0 down in a hunt for third place. If we won, we go 1 point off third. Are you crazy? What was boring about that game? We started the game like a house on fire. We had 34 shots in the game. At the very end, we had 3 massive opportunities to win it. That's not on Enzo Maresca. That is on Enzo Fernandez's finishing, Chalobah's headering, and Cole Palmer's finishing. That's what happened that cost us the 3 points. Enzo Maresca did not ask Levi Colwill to let his runner go. Enzo Maresca did not ask for us to go long when he religiously tells us to play out the back and then lose it 50-50 and get punished. Enzo Maresca, not even Fernandez, did not ask the team to be toothless, even though they took 34 shots. 34 shots. And people are saying it's boring football. How many shots do you want your team to take? How many attacks do you want? Another statistic that will blow your mind. Throughout the whole season, sample size of 32 games, Enzo Maresca's team has created the second biggest chances volume. Liverpool create 91 chances. Chelsea have created 82. After that, it's Manchester City, Arsenal's and Spurs. If that is boring football, then I don't know what you want to watch. Genuinely, I don't know what you want to watch anymore, because I feel like people just don't like him. And I've said this before, I'm going to reiterate it again. People don't like him. They didn't like Sarri because Sarri played tippy-tappy football, they called it. They didn't like AVB because AVB was different from what they saw. They don't like Maresca because it's not the conventional one. How can you have so much patience and time for Frank Lampard and Pochettino, but you don't have the patience for a manager that yesterday, if he won a game, we would have been third? Do you understand how unlogical that is? There's no logic in that thought process. I went to the Barrow game, right? I was at the Barrow game, and if I'm not mistaken, we won 6-0. We were winning 5 at the time, or 4-0. People were still moaning when passes were given away and saying, I don't like this tappy-tappy football. I'm sorry, what do you not like? Do you not like dictating the possession? Do you not like manipulating the ball? Do you not like creating chances on a regular basis? Because we're doing all of that stuff. We genuinely are doing that stuff. The numbers back it up. The eye test backs it up. And our attacking statistics back it up. Yesterday's game was not about the manager. You can convince yourself it was about the manager because you're unhappy and you throw your dummy out every time results don't go in your favor. But this has got nothing to do with the manager. The other aspect of Enzo Maresca that people don't like, and they say he rotates too much. He doesn't utilize his squad properly. He plays players out of position. But let's talk about it, right? The reality is, Reece James cannot play multiple games. Reece James was clearly injured. If Reece was fit, do you not think Reece James would have been on the pitch at halftime instead of Gusto? Nope. You don't think Reece James would have been on at least for the last half an hour. You don't think Reece James was competent enough to play when he played against Legia. Do you not think so? Nope, people don't like that. And the argument here is he doesn't know what he's doing. He wants to invert him all the time. He doesn't view him as a right back. Dude, he's played as a right back this season for us and played right centre back. Can we stop with this nonsense? Because that's exactly what it is. You don't like the manager and you don't know what's going on behind closed doors, and all you're doing is making assumptions that are against the manager. That's what you're doing. And this is what really frustrates me. Reece was clearly hurt. So guess what happened? He played Chalobah there to play 3 centre halves and Cucurella would push up. The other thing that really annoys me religiously is this whole argument that, oh, he only picks Sanchez. I don't like Sanchez. I would drop Sanchez. I think Sanchez isn't good enough for Chelsea. But are we going to sit here and pretend the gap between him and Jurgensen is like the gap between me and Buffon? It's not, man. They both make mistakes. We've seen Jurgensen make mistakes this year as well. They're both rubbish. They really are. At this moment in time, I've seen enough of Sanchez to hand on my heart say he's a rubbish goalkeeper. I've hand on my heart to put and talk about Jurgensen and say he's an average goalkeeper at best. I don't have faith in him. So when I am saying stuff like that, I'm picking through mid and midder, ugly and uglier. What are we doing here? Genuinely, what are we doing here? I'm cooking through a raw chicken or raw pork. What are we doing here? Genuinely. Why are we nitpicking and having battles over stupid things? What members of the team would you have not picked yesterday? Neto over Sancho. Yes, Sancho scored a goal. But what are we doing here? Sancho's not been good for months. What, we're gonna hype Sancho now because he's got 2 assists and 1 goal in the last 2 games? Is this the level of mediocrity we've reached now, where we are going to be raising our standards of players based on game-to-game analysis? They haven't been good all year in that aspect. Sancho, Neto, Madueke, they've just been inconsistent. And people get annoyed when I say stuff like this and say, oh, you're protecting them, you're protecting the ownership group. Nobody's protecting the ownership group. Let me tell you my thoughts on the ownership group. I've said it before, I'll say it again. They can't even spell the word Roman Abramovich. They can't. Why? Because they'll never be Roman Abramovich. Roman wanted to win. These lot want to make a profit. I can sit here and be toxic and negative every single episode I make. I can talk about that. They want they put loan and debts on the club. Oh, they only sign young players. Do you want that kind of content? I don't make that kind of content because it's boring. And all of you are educated enough to know that there are positives with this ownership group and negatives with this ownership group. And in this case, one of the negatives is they gave the job to a second-year coach. And now you expect me to sit here and blame the second-year coach when he's doing better than a 10-year coach was last year in Pochettino. Come on, man. We're absolutely smelly right now. Those takes are absolutely smelly. Now let's look at what we have to look forward to in this season. First of all, the importance of the Europa Conference League, I can't believe I'm saying these words, cannot be underestimated. Chelsea need to make Europa League minimum this year. If we finish 6th, which we're projected to most probably finish 6th, and somebody wins the FA Cup like last year that's not in a European competition, they get that spot and we get relegated to the Conference League. Under no circumstances can we be in the Conference League. What do we have to do? You have to win the Conference League to get into the Europa League as a guaranteed. That is the bare minimum. Not only because it's embarrassing, because I don't care about the embarrassment, I really don't, right? What I care about is we're in the Conference League to generate, Europa League to generate some sort of revenue. And then we need to put ourselves in a position to finish 5th. We're not going to do it though. And I'm going to explain to you why. First half of the season, after 19 games, we were 4th. We got 35 points, right? We looked good. We were a good, solid, combative team. Second half of the season, it's been 12 games if I'm not mistaken, or 13 games, yeah? And we've got 19 points. 19 points. That's unacceptable, man. That is unacceptable. We are on track to being 12th based on that table. All in all, we are 6th. We are 3 points off 3rd, but it is not tidy. Look, I'm telling you right now, we do not need to look at Manchester City's results and we do not need to look at Newcastle. We need to focus on Aston Villa and we need to focus on Nottingham Forest. And people are going to say to me, Alex, that is given up because if Crystal Palace gets something from Newcastle and then Aston Villa and Newcastle play each other and they draw and we win our games. Yo, we have to win our games. I'm tired of looking at other teams and expecting them to do us favours. I really am. We've got Fulham and Everton. We've got Fulham away with this wretched away form. What makes you think we're going to go to Fulham and win? Because in my head, I had penciled in Ipswich we beat, Fulham we draw, we beat Everton, and then maybe we can reassess where we stand. I don't see that anymore, man. I really don't. I feel like the Ipswich win had to be a win. The Ipswich game had to be a win. We didn't get it. Then the Fulham game, it had to be surprise me. And now all of a sudden we're going into Fulham and we expect to win that game. And then Everton at home, we expect to win. And then after that, we've got 4 games. And those 4 games could literally dictate maybe the next 2 years. And I hate being so dramatic because if you think about it, we've got Forest and we've got Newcastle, both away. We've got Man United and Liverpool at home. I'm telling you now, if we win our next 2 games, we might be in a position where it's in our hands. But I don't believe in this team enough anymore. They've let me down one too many times. They really have. Enzo and Caicedo are the only ones I actually believe in on a consistent basis. Reece James, when he plays, I believe in. Cole Palmer, I believe in, but he is starting to irritate me. Nicholas Jackson, I've given up on. I've had so much expectations for this man. I wanted him to take the next step. He didn't. He really didn't. He let me down. I'm ranting, I'm raving, I am hurt. Genuinely, I don't like making content like this, but today I have to. This is the position this team has put me in. And what really irritates me is that Enzo Maresca's taken the blame for something that we have seen on numerous occasions. Sack him. Go sack him. Let's see who they bring in charge next. You're not getting your Nagelsmann. You're not getting your Enrique. You're not getting your top tier managers because we are no longer at that table. And that's the sad reality because this ownership group has no interest in getting those managers. They will not give those managers the control they need. Last point before I wrap it up. I keep hearing Enrique and PSG. Broski, Enrique took 18 months to build that team. On top of that, Enrique nearly got sacked because they were out almost of the Champions League. They were 18th or 19th in that Champions League phase. And guess what happened? They clicked and everything's working now. It didn't happen overnight. I'm not saying Enzo Maresca is Enrique. I'm not saying he's ever going to be Enrique. What I am telling you right now is Enzo Maresca is not the problem at this club. He might have a few issues that he needs to work on, but you lot need to stop pointing the finger at every single manager that we ever have, because this manager actually doesn't deserve it. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you like it. I'm most probably going to lose a shit ton of subscribers for this video because people won't like that I called out the fans. But it is what it is. Let me know your thoughts. Peace out. I'm out.